So today, I want to talk about skepticism. In particular, I want to talk about skepticism with civinomics. And to do this, I'd like to talk about 3 unique experiences I've had with people about our site. So the first experience I really want to talk about is with my father. So my father is in his 60s. He's an older guy. He comes from the 60s generation. I would say he's definitely most likely liberal. And I think he definitely supports being active in local issues and being informed. That's something he definitely agrees with.
Okay.
So when I tried to explain to my dad, if you use these tools like Reddit and Twitter and Facebook for sharing information, that you can become really, really informed, to such an extent that was never really before possible.
Pretty excessively, pretty easily.
Yeah, it's for a lot of people, not everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for him,
Okay.
But he always approaches new technology with And for instance, the first time I saw him try to use Facebook, he's like, he looked at the page kind of blankly and was like, oh, I have no idea what to do here. And it's like, oh, okay, well, try clicking on something, try actually interacting with it.
Okay.
But that kind of barrier to entry was very real for him. And so when I sat down and tried and teach him Reddit for the first time, you can go through and search by topic and click on different things and source things and get really good information. It took him a while, but he really did get it. And ultimately, what I just want to say is I know that things are harder, but listen, things are not going to go offline anytime soon. More and more things are going to become digital. More and more things are going to go that direction, and especially information. And it's not necessarily bad, it's just different. And it takes a little bit of dealing with and getting used to.
Definitely.
And I think if you really want to be true to your principles, then you're going to make the extra effort and take the initiative to figure something out. You can Google it.
Yeah, if the idea is to work on those things that you're passionate about over the internet, over those new technologies.
I don't think they necessarily inhibit the old ways, which actually brings me to my second perspective. So I was approached via user through Civinomics, ironically, about how using Civinomics in the way it does might prevent access to some people. And it's a legitimate claim, and I can see where people are coming from. Not everyone has access to the internet. Not everyone can do the things we're doing.
Yeah.
There is an existing process out there for getting involved, whether it's going to community meetings, writing a letter to your local editor, or hell, even just talking to your neighbors. But creating another avenue of participation that might be more accessible to others doesn't inhibit the existing means of participating.
Mm-hmm.
By providing more access to someone doesn't, in this case, detract from existing methods. I'd love to be able to reach everyone. I'd love to be able to get more people involved in the most equitable way as possible. But we need to be practical to some extent in terms of what we can do. Right now our aim is to use the internet and the tools that we see people using every single day to share photos and look for work and such,
mm-hmm.
to try and better reach more people with the political side of things.
Totally.
And I think that has inherent value.
Definitely a lot of people are using those passages of information, and you're able to reach a lot of different folks.
But I realize, again, not everyone has access to the internet. Not everyone can do these things.
Yeah,
That's
not
legitimate.
everybody has a computer and can work on those workshops all of the time that are available through Civinomics, so yeah.
What I would like to say is that we're only going to get better. We're only going to continue to reach more people as to do this, and we do have potentially a foot on the ground presence to be able to actually reach people directly. But we got to grow. We got to continue to do what we do best and grow off of that.
What was your other point?
Well, my other point really, my other last experience was in dealing with a representative of an elected official who was asked to receive a number of emails by Civinomics members wanting to get them to participate as a listener.
Okay.
And so a listener on Civinomics is someone who gets a daily email digest about a given topic, so about a given workshop, about all the comments, votes, ideas, and conversation topics and resources that people are submitting on that workshop every single day.
For sure.
So they called me up and were basically like, okay, such and such gets hundreds of emails a day, and me as a staff member and other staff, we spend almost all of our time addressing constituent concerns. We're maxed out.
Mm-hmm.
That point was made very clear to me.
Okay.
So their worry was, by having another entry point to get people involved, that was going to detract away from their existing efforts.
Okay.
But I guess what I find really hard about this is the whole point of Civinomics is to try and make things easier. Rather than getting perhaps 100 emails a day, if you could actually use a centralized civic portal.
Like if you become a member, if you become a listener.
Yeah, you become a listener, rather than maybe getting 100 emails from 100 people, you can get one email that synthesizes and gives you kind of like a synopsis of what's going on, what people are feeling.
Okay.
Also, rather than providing through the traditional methods, whether it's a phone call or existing emails, to have an outlet to directly talk to a staff member, directly talk to a supervisor in a very easy, like an instant message format, or like even just like looking at the different ideas people are going and seeing which ones are getting more votes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it fundamentally makes it easier rather than harder to get that kind of citizen feedback.
I agree, it has the potential, definitely.
It has the potential.
Yeah,
And again, we're always working to improve it. We have to be practical here. We're not going to solve everyone's problems overnight, but we can make the effort and we can continue to get better and refine our process.
Well, you can't satisfy everybody.
Can't satisfy everyone. But, and one thing I do want to add is that by having a workshop on Civinomics, about how to improve Civinomics, we're really trying to turn the process in on itself. Continually iterating and getting better and learning from experience is the only way to go here.
Well, we're user driven, that's for sure. So it's important. It's important to get that input, and I always, whenever I put something on that workshop, I usually get a response almost right away. Yeah.
And there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I really think fundamentally Civinomics is about making it easier to make things better.
Easier is